Hey guys, how's it going? So you got old Mr. Pro Caliber here, and I am going to be doing a little review on Alpha Camp's small, camping chair. They've got multiple camping chairs. They got their big ones, their small ones, the medium ones, and this right here is the smallest one. I'm also taking and wearing their new rain jacket, windbreaker. It's waterproof, all that good old stuff, because it is kind of windy today. When it comes to the materials of this bad boy, you have dual layer 600 denier Oxford fabric. The weight capacity for this is 200 pounds. Overall weight of the package is 2 pounds, and I mean, to be honest, to me it feels less than 2 pounds, so like 2 pounds at the most. And it's a very simple construction, so there's not a lot to it. There's a couple other things mentioned in the the description box, as far as the actual inches from ground to height, and hopefully old Alpha Camp won't get too mad at me, but I'm not going to mention those things. I'm just going to take and show you guys how to set it up. And as I mentioned, I've been using this thing for right now over 2 months and not had a single problem. I personally weigh right at 150 pounds with gear, like my gun, my knives, all my pocket stuff, boots, pants, clothes, everything. Whenever you take this little old bag right here and dip her out, you get your legs. This right here is your main. It's already snapping together. Right here is your main frame component. So right now they only offer this in the green and orange, and then the striped, I believe it's red and white, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously I'm a huge fan of the green and the orange, because the red and the white is more of the beach vibe. And then as far as assembling this thing goes, it's no different than a tent, and it's a lot easier than a tent. So you have your centerpiece, and a lot of these things are already taken and just snapping into place naturally, because it's got the elastic cordage, and it's just pretty much plug and play. So as the ground poles snap in very, very easily, and then your back support pieces, they take and snap together very, very easily. And I mean, they pretty much do it on their own. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to put this thing together. That's what I'm saying. And there's a bunch of briars around here as well. I'll put my knee pad on that so that it doesn't screw with anything. But I mean, I've been using this in a lot more adverse conditions than most people would be, so it's held up very good so far over the past 2 months. And I can tell you one thing, you do not have to worry about this seat material ripping at all, because this 600D material that they make this out of, along with the way they reinforce the points to where these legs connect, you're not going to rip it. Unless you take and just completely ignore the weight limit suggestion, you're going to be fine. And then it couldn't be simpler to actually put this thing together, because once again, I'm not 100% sure with the red and white striped version. With the green and orange version, the orange is the back side, the green's the front, and then this orange strip is the top. And then I found it to be the easiest if you just put the top 2 corners in first, because then that allows them to flex just a wee bit more than the bottom corners can. And you got to also remember, I've been taking and using and sitting in this thing for over 2 months. At this point, everything goes in nice and easy. You take and put that right there. And by golly, also too, here's the other thing. You probably can't see my head, but I've got a kniff. I've got my gun that I always carry. If you follow my channel, you know what I'm talking about. And with all that stuff on, it sits phenomenally. And like, I'm not, you know, like, even at this moment, I'm on a hill that leans this way, and this thing does fine. Oh. The only thing that I will tell you is if you're going to be using this in an area that has soft ground, or if you're going to be getting the beach version and using it on the beach, is that you do need to put something underneath the feet. That's the only. It's not an issue with the chair. The chair functions 110% the way it should. But the feet will take and sink down into the ground, and you know, like, if you're kind of pushing the weight limit or exceeding the weight limit, then you might have a problem. With that being said, this Alpha Camp chair, I mean, it sits like a dream. I'm somebody, I could easily take and just like fall asleep in this thing. So, um, you know, highly recommend it. And it's not because of any bias, you know, or anything. So, you know, check it out. And if you get one, I hope you enjoy it. And if anything, I will talk to you guys later.